Welcome back. The world is a scarier place these days, but so is the football world, full of stupid hyperbole, incomprehensible calls on deliberate out of bounds and rush behinds, and the fear that Channel 7 will replace Dennis Cometti with another talking robot who can throw seamlessly to a plug for My Kitchen Rules but can't actually call a game of football. It's terrifying. But those responsible for football atrocity need to be afraid as well. Afraid of us vigilantes who can identify the wrongs and scream about them till the prospect of another minute of unhinged anger from Finey or me pushes them over the edge. Brace yourselves, people, for the football editorial apocalypse that is a Footyology Rant-off! You're up first!
Was that incredibly long intro your rant?
Yeah, I know. I just got carried away.
All right, here we go.
3, 2, 1, rant!
There is a rule for a precious few in this competition. It's called the Anointed Ones, and they get special treatment, and I don't like it. First of all, who are the Anointed Ones and how do you get anointed? Well, you get anointed when Bruce calls you special, or that you're delicious, or that somebody hitches their flagging wagon to your rising star. You know what? Even Rohan's done it a little bit. I'm sorry, Rohan, but that Dangerwood business, you're trying to sort of get some glow from Dangerfield and Selwood. It's not as shameless as Gerard Whateley insertion into Black Caviar. I don't mean physically, I mean into the story, even though there might have been a clandestine coupling. Anyhow, back to the main thing. It started in 1994, round 7, when Gary Ablett was paid that ridiculous mark that he dropped over Gary Pert. He was anointed, so that was a mark. Don't let the truth get in the way of a good mark. And on it went. Chris Judd would spin around and around and around 1,080 degrees. Everybody else gets 170. And now today, Cyril Rioli, they wanted to pay that mark. Bruce goes, "I'll pay the mark." What do you mean pay the mark? It was hands in the back. But it all ends up with Dangerfield's goal against Fremantle at Perth. Oh my God. I'll leave the final words to the Warden Carr from Cool Hand Luke. Here we go. What we've got here is failure to officiate. Some men you just can't free kick. So you get what we had on Friday night, which is the way Dangerfield wants it. Well, Dangerfield gets it. I don't like it any more than real fans.
Not bad, but you talked about my intro being the rant. That was about like a minute and a half's worth. You get a little bit of time on.
I went 30 seconds over, but I had to do the Warden Carr from Cool Hand Blue.
It was good impersonation. Okay, count me in.
3, 2, I feel like I'm counting eggs. 1.
I don't get it, Finey. Football prides itself on being a game where everyone's equal. So how come American Vice President Joe Biden turned up to the Carlton West Coast game and we couldn't even give him a typical AFL experience? Geez, talk about security overkill. I had to go through about 6 car checks in Brunton Avenue. They're sticking mirrors under the chassis and the bloke tells me, no bombs, but you have got a rat colony living there. Then a guy jumps in the front seat of my Commodore and starts rummaging through the old Macca's wrappers. I said, look mate, no explosive device is going to survive that festering mound of bacteria, but do you reckon he listened? Joe Biden's a Democrat, a man of the people. So why wouldn't they let him get a train to Jolimont Station like everyone else, then get thrown to the ground by the Metro goons because he didn't have a bloody Mikey card? Why stick him in a corporate suite when he could have paid an exorbitant price for a seat, queued up for half an hour for an overpriced and overcooked bucket of chips, then go deaf from the crap blaring out of the scoreboard PA system? Then when Biden went to leave, he looked around for his security details, saw a whole cluster of blokes in suits and dark sunglasses, and accidentally walked out with Gil McLachlan and his mates. One thing's for sure though, Gil had better hope Donald Trump doesn't win the US election in November, because what are we going to do when he goes to the MCG and demands a wall be built around it so none of us can get in?
It's all political with you, isn't it?
Well, mate, the American Vice President comes to Melbourne, goes to the MCG. It's pretty hard to avoid politics.
Were you happy Malcolm Turnbull got sworn in this morning?
Yeah, I swore.
It's easy to vote. It's going to be very easy to vote this week. I want you to get T-shirts made, because I've got a special T-shirt for next week's show. Go to the footy in a T-shirt either saying Finey or Rohan Connolly, and then it'll be counted at the gate, and we'll do the votes next week.
What happened to Ro-Co? You want them to spend too much on lettering now?
That way I'll get more votes.
Oh, I get it. Very cunning.
So I had to go straight into women's football. So now you look at it, there's youth girls teams everywhere, and everybody, like my local team told me that they're getting women's girls team next year. So it's just growing so quick, and it's exciting, I think, for women's football.